IGP orders for a broad investigation into kidney trafficking.
Former President's response on plans to establish a new party.
Former First Lady requests more time to appear before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry.
Warning by Minister Dayasirija Sekara during Polgawela Development Committee meeting.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News on TV1 and Shakti TV. I'm Nadim Majid.
A very good evening, Nadim. I'm Florine Rajendran. Let's start off with a look at your top story tonight. On to your top story this evening.
The opening ceremony of the National Sports and Physical Fitness Promotion Week was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The fitness program, which comprises of a series of practical activities, commenced at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. The program has been launched with the objective of applying sports in a practical manner to prevent and minimize non-communicable diseases. Several public representatives also took part in the program this morning.
The chief prelate of the Malwata chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera, requests that the Theravadi Bhikkhu Kathikavada bill, which has been presented to secure legal authority, not be positioned for the narrow-minded intentions, including those of political parties.
The chief prelate made this request in a letter addressed to the Minister of Justice and Buddha Sasana. In his letter, the chief prelate notes that legal authority is being secured through this bill to ensure purity in the Sasana and the restoration of the Sasana. Furthermore, he points out that this great undertaking, which was disregarded by the previous government, has now been initiated by the current government. The chief prelate says that securing legal authority for the Theravadi Bhikkhu Kathikawat will assist in preventing the current deterioration in the Sasana. He says that it is not the responsibility of bhikkhus to remain silent in the face of the criticism that is being levelled by members of both the Sangha and the laity on why no steps are being taken in the matter of the current state of the Sasana. Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera says that as such, the competent authorities in government should take steps to confer legal authority for the bill that has been presented.
Welcome back. Now, talk in the political sphere is currently centred on whether a new political party is in the offing. What do the various factions have to say on the matter?
Newsfirst revealed last Monday that discussions on the establishing of a new political party were held at the residence of North-Western Provincial Councillor D.B. Herath on the 16th of this month. The meeting saw the participation of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and former Minister Basil Rajapaksa. Representatives of the 19 local government bodies in the Gampaha district, except the Negombo Municipal Council, convened a media briefing today. We would like to remind the government of good governance that the representatives gathered here will win the upcoming local government elections after contesting under the party formed by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. All details, including the leader and symbol of the new party, will be announced following the official declaration of local government elections. Meanwhile, another media briefing which saw the participation of Minister Mahinda Samarasinga and a number of local government representatives was held in Kalutara today. They will cease to be members of the SLFP if they establish another party and take membership in it. There is no need for a disciplinary inquiry since it is made obvious following the acceptance of membership of another party. Those who commit such acts are carrying out a major betrayal against the SLFP. Members of leftist parties in the UPFA who held ministerial positions in the former government also commented on the matter at a media briefing convened today.
Are there plans to form a new party? What is the current status?
They haven't informed us. If another party is being established, it does not concern the MPs in the current parliamentary groups. These political parties do not need to know what all the other political parties are discussing, for what purpose, for what policy and for what framework. As the joint opposition, we have not arrived at such a decision. Even though we are a part of the joint opposition, we cannot claim responsibility on behalf of the members who make such remarks. We will work according to our party's stance. Meanwhile, former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga spoke to the media about the new party.
There's much talk about former President Mahinda Rajapaksa forming a party under the lotus symbol. Some in the SLFP are in favour of him. Will disciplinary action be taken?
The decision is made by the party chairman. I know what I will do if I was a chairman.
Yes, these are all false stories. How is he going to create a new party when he is still here? We formed parties before him. I saw Gotabaya Rajapaksa saying that he is going to form a party. Where are the parties that he formed? These are just false stories to incite fear. They want to incite fear in the SLFP to woo them over and win something at the election. There is no party being formed.
Up next is our special segment Before the Ballot.
We strongly condemn the fact that an election has not been held as yet. This is because political parties cannot put their political differences aside and solve the issues surrounding the passage of a new act. Appointing a chairman under this reformed act has become the cause for a major issue among the two main political parties. If 10 candidates contest the election, it becomes the intention of all 10 candidates to appoint a chairman from their respective electorate.
The electorate system brought forward by the government, which will create a public representative who is responsible for a particular reason, is advantageous on the part of the people. Therefore, we request that the election be held under the new system. We are in agreement to this.
We have no issue on this matter whatsoever. We as the JVP are ready to go for an election regardless of being held under the old, current or new system.
Tensions flared at two development committee meetings held in the Kurunegala district recently.
The Development Committee meeting at the Veeramugedara Divisional Secretariat took place under the patronage of Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara and Deputy Minister Ashoka Besingha. However, before the commencement of the committee meeting, a complaint regarding an anomaly that is said to have taken place when distributing items to Samurdhi beneficiaries was raised with the minister by a woman. The minister and the deputy minister also attended the development committee meeting in Polgahavela the same afternoon, where a tense situation arose in connection with road development.
Also in headline stories tonight, former First Lady Shiranti Rajapaksa was summoned to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to investigate and inquire into serious acts of fraud, corruption and abuse of power, state resources and privileges. However, the former First Lady did not appear before the Commission today.
Shiranti Rajapaksa was summoned to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to record a statement over the incident where a house was allegedly granted to Milinda Ratnayaka, who is said to be a former media coordinator. Secretary to the Commission, Lasil De Silva, said that through her lawyer, the former First Lady has requested a period of 2 weeks to appear before the Commission. Meanwhile, business tycoon Lalit Kotalawala appeared before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into large-scale fraud and corruption today. He was summoned to record a statement with regard to an alleged financial irregularity said to have taken place in the construction of a building on Gaul Road, Kolpiti.
Inspector General of Police N.K. Langakun has ordered Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police for the Western Province Pujija Sundara to conduct a broad investigation into the kidney racket. The order comes following a request made to the Inspector General of Police by the Ministry of Health.
Quoting its police, Indian media reported last week that 6 Sri Lankan doctors are involved in a kidney racket. Following the revelation, kidney surgeries on foreign patients at Sri Lankan hospitals were temporarily suspended. Thereafter, the Ministry of Health appointed a 5-member committee to look into the matter.
Before conducting a kidney transplant, you need to obtain the written consent of the kidney donor. You also need the consent of his or her relatives. It is illegal to sell or buy a kidney. It can only be donated, because if donating a kidney has any harmful effects or any other effects on the donor, then donating the kidney is illegal. You also need the approval of the Ministry of Health for a kidney transplant. All kidney transplants up to date, local or foreign, have been conducted with the required approval. Prior to this, we learned of the plans where foreigners come to Sri Lanka and find Sri Lankan kidney donors. At that instance, we negotiated with the Health Ministry and passed a law that if a foreigner is in need of a kidney transplant, the donor also has to be of that nationality. We came to the conclusion that a Sri Lankan cannot donate a kidney to a foreign national. As a responsible trade union, we looked into whether any of these 6 doctors are members of our trade union, and we have been able to find one doctor who is a member of the Government Medical Officers Association. By some chance, if he is found guilty of this crime, then we will take the maximum disciplinary action against him as per the constitution of the GMOA.
Speaking to Newsfirst, Chairman of the 5-member committee appointed to investigate the matter, Acting Director General of Health, Dr. Jasundara Bandara, said that he cannot specify a time frame for the investigation.
Starting today, we will carry out our investigation by visiting the hospitals which perform these surgeries and collect the required information. However, we can only specify how long this investigation will go on based on our assessment, and whether if we can issue a report on it, we will at the very least try to submit an interim committee within 3 days. We got the Criminal Investigations Department involved with the investigations, and they are currently working on this case with the Interpol. We suspect that there are several Sri Lankan doctors involved in this racket. As the Health Ministry, we have a quite minor role to play here, as it is the CID which has the biggest role to play. So as time goes on, we will see all this which happened, and until such time, we have temporarily suspended kidney transplants on foreign nationals. A few decades ago, Sri Lankan patients in need of this transplant travelled overseas for this surgery. They travelled to countries like Singapore and India. So it was our money which flowed overseas. So with the development of Sri Lanka's medical sector, foreigners came to Sri Lanka for such surgeries, which had a massive circulation of foreign currency in our country. As the Government Medical Officers Association, we request that investigations into this matter be expedited, and that extensive measures and precautions be taken to perform transplants in the country, which is a mode of income for doctors.
In more local news, Minister of Primary Industries Daya Gamage filed a petition at the Court of Appeal today.
The minister in his petition points out that a certain injustice was caused to him and several other factions during the acquisition of land for the Verasganga development project, which is underway in the Burlaskamu area. Taking the petition into consideration, the Court of Appeal ordered that all construction work in and around the lands in question be suspended until the 5th of next month.
Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa commenced a project called Verasganga Development Project under the government of Mahinda Rajapaksa. They added another 10 acres of land by acquiring 1.5 acres of land which belongs to me, as well as several lands of innocent locals there. Now today, this land has been taken for this project, and its officials have now named as flood detention. When we established the UMP government, we promised that innocent people's lands will not be robbed like this. So in spite of that, it is disappointing that things like this continue to happen. When we were in the opposition, Gotabaya Rajapaksa was unable to excavate on my land. Have
we forgotten?
At the beginning of 2009, the All Share Price Index, or ASPI, the main index reflecting the performance of the Colombo Stock Exchange, stood at 1,500 points. However, within 2 years, the ASPI rose exponentially to 7,800 points. The growth spurt captured the attention of the market regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. Investigations by the Commission revealed that the prices of some shares were being manipulated in this time frame. However, what transpired next was that instead of the wrongdoers being brought before the law at the conclusion of investigations, chairpersons of the SEC and several officials, including Director Generals, were removed from their positions.
Pump and dump.
These people increased the share price of this hen coop from the 50 to 60 range to 250 rupees. And then they dumped it. Who bought the shares then? It was the EPF. They did not have legal power to invest in the shares of a hen coop. This is a total fraud.
ඔවුන්ට නීතියෙන් බලයක් නැහැ. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ සම්පූර්ණ වංචාවක්.
I have requested the Securities and Exchange Commission.
I have ordered the Securities and Exchange Commission to conduct further investigations. If necessary, I will enact legal provisions for these investigations. I will also turn my attention to appoint a Parliament Select Committee to conduct investigations. They have destroyed our economy.
අපේ ආර්ථික මුල් නැති කරලා තියෙන්නේ.
The government made a promise to the people with regard to the situation that arose in the stock exchange. The Honourable Prime Minister made an oral statement in Parliament, but these investigations have not been carried out. This joins a long list of incidents that have not been investigated in the recent past. A mandate was given for these to be investigated and for the law to be enforced. The financial problem in the stock exchange was a controversial issue in the country. It was functioning like a mafia. A transparent investigation must be carried out and the law must be properly enforced. This delay does not comply with the mandate. It goes against it.
Have we forgotten?
Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa expressed the following views while speaking at a public meeting in Thisamaharama today.
Many question us as to why the thieves aren't being captured. After the 8th of January 2015, we brought forth an era which gives prominence to the justice of this country. The era where the President, Prime Minister nor ministers handle the law at their own whim and fancy is over. Under this era of good governance, we have to abide by the law to capture the thieves. Today the country's rule of law reigns supreme. Dear friends, the thieves will be captured, but there is a way of capturing them. We will implement the law by the book.
The investiture of prefects at the Maha Manthinda Pirivena and Anura Vidyalaya in Matara was held today.
The event was held under the auspices of the Chief Sanganayaka of Dakshina Lanka and the Chief Incumbent of the Maha Manthinda Pirivena, Venerable Katamanne Dhammakiti Thera. State Minister of Finance Lakshmanappa Abewardena and MP Buddhika Patrina also graced the occasion. I have a singular need. English and computing skills are the wings these children need to enter the world in the future. I will teach this to the monks. I may have other responsibilities like constructing buildings and securing assets, but the children of these two schools are my only wealth. Even 68 years after achieving independence, we cannot be happy about the state of education in our country in comparison to nations like America and Japan. The Free Education Ordinance, introduced by Dr. C.W.W. Kannangara, continues to govern education in our country with a few amendments. It has become a timely need to introduce an Education Act that is suitable to the current needs of the country. Leadership is not something that everyone can achieve. When taking on the mantle of leadership today, these student leaders must make it a habit to do everything the right way at all times. You may get an education and become a manager. You may be called a good manager if you do what you are told, but a leader is a person who does the right thing always and is able to gather followers moving forward.
CCTV footage that is purported to be connected to the recent controversial death of a youth during a function in Ambalipitia was released to the media by the authorities today.
We leave you tonight with a look at these images. Good night and good luck.